Hi, everyone. I'm Kelly Renee, and welcome back to Fiercely Unfiltered. I wanted to kind of continue off my episode yesterday because I think my mini cut is going to be the perfect example of calories in, calories out. Because if you guys follow my journey, you'll have watched me gain about 25 pounds in 5 months. For my show in June, I was 122 pounds and about 12% body fat. Right now, I'm about 145 pounds and about 19% body fat. I'm probably going to gain a couple more pounds. I got 2 more weeks to go before I start the mini cut. So I'll probably be 25 pounds up from where I was on my show. But this is a controlled, intentional weight gain. After my show, I started doing what they call as a reverse diet, where I go up about 150 calories every couple weeks. And then I let my body get used to that, so it doesn't think it has to hold on to the extra calories. So I was at about, I think, 1,300 calories or 1,400 at the end of my prep right before my competition. Now I'm at about 2,500 calories. So I eat 2.5 servings of potatoes with my breakfast now, a couple of servings of rice with my lunch. And when I go to my mini cut, I'll be cutting all that down. And it's a good example to show you guys that there's no magic pill. It's really just math, because it doesn't matter if I'm eating a surplus of rice cakes and chicken and everything healthy. If it's a surplus, it's a surplus, and your body's going to gain weight. So everyone who just has that extra coffee or just a handful of peanuts or licks the spoon when they use peanut butter, that could be an extra 500 calories a day, which adds up to about a pound a week. 3,500 calories is a pound. So it doesn't matter what you're eating. If you're eating in excess, you're going to gain weight. So you watched me gain 25 pounds in about 5 months. And that's with me tracking my food, only eating my Bunt cake every 10 days, every 2 weeks. But that's another example. One thing won't make you fat. One meal doesn't make you healthy. One meal doesn't make you unhealthy. It's about all your choices and all the decisions you make on a daily basis. So for an example, with my Bunt cake, I eat it guilt-free. I enjoy it when I eat it because I understand that that one thing isn't going to throw me off. And if it makes me stay on track for the other 2 weeks for that reward, then it's a good solution. But you also got to understand, when I eat that Bunt cake, I have to eliminate 1,000 calories of other food. I just don't eat it in excess. Like if I'm allowed 2,500 calories, if I eat a Bunt cake, that has to be a part of that 2,500 calories. So I might have to miss dinner and lunch that day just to have that Bunt cake. And then when you look at it from that perspective, like, is my body running as good as it would if I gave myself my 5 healthy meals every day? Instead, I have a Bunt cake and 2 meals because that's all I can fit in my calories. And that's the difference. Calories determine your size. And calories just aren't calories. Every calorie is a decision that your body has to process. And if you're having it processed, like, I could eat a Bunt cake every day for the rest of my life. And if that was 1,000 of my 2,000 calories, I'd still be skinny. But the problem is I'd be exhausted, malnutritioned. I wouldn't have energy. I just would feel like shit. So you could have 2 both eating the same amount of calories, but one eating good, clean calories and one eating processed food and shit. And the energy and the way they're going to feel, that's going to be what's affected. So with the world statistics, the CDC says that 74% of the population is overweight. And 42% of those people are considered obese. And I think about it, and I'm not sure if we're a country of lazy people or people without self-control or willpower, or if we're just a country that's unaware of how our body actually works, unaware of calorie ins and out. And we're just eating to eat. Are you eating with intention? Are you eating to fuel your body? Or are you just eating? I always tell people they should start counting their calories, because a few people have that I say, and they come up to me and they're like, oh my God, I was blown away by how many calories I actually eat in a day. So from today's episode, if you guys could just count your calories for a week, not to judge yourself, but just to see yourself, see where you are, see what you're eating every day, understand that it all adds up. And if you're eating just a couple hundred calories extra every day, the surplus adds up. I'm a perfect example. I'm 25 pounds up in 5 months. And I work out, I do cardio, I get my steps in, I eat healthy, but I'm eating in a surplus. And I know that. And every time my body stables out, we add more calories because that's the season I'm in. I'm trying to grow. I'm trying to get muscle. Because if you look at my competition picture, I had no fat on me, but my structural frame is too skinny. I wasn't too skinny in the fact that I just didn't have any fat. So I feel like that's where my body kind of should be. I shouldn't have all this extra fat, but my muscles, I didn't have enough muscle. So that's why I'm trying so hard to build muscle right now. And there's days I don't want to eat my 5th meal. It's 7:00 at night. I still have a whole meal to eat. And I think I could just go to bed. I don't need it, but I do need it. For the phase I'm in and the growth phase, I don't want to leave out 300 calories. Because that's a day that I'm not giving my body what it needs to grow the muscles that I'm trying to grow. So I want everyone to understand that it's not just about calories, because calories is what determines what size you are, but the macros and the nutrition decides how you feel and how you look. Like if I'm eating 2,000 calories and I'm not eating any protein, then my body's not getting that protein to build my muscles or repair my cells. The carbs are for energy. Is that good energy or is that bad energy? There's a lot that comes into it. But if you just understand and you make yourself aware, it's all you need. Because with awareness, there's accountability. And with accountability comes control. It doesn't matter exactly what you're eating, but you got to know what you're eating. Like I wouldn't say try and do it all at once. I remember when I first started. The protein I was eating was protein shakes pre-made from the grocery store. It was bad protein when I look at it now, but at least it was protein. I made little steps. I did what I could to stay in my calories. Then I did what I could to stay in my macros. Once I was there and I was getting the right macros, then I started switching out bad protein for good protein, bad carbs for good carbs, because you could eat bread or you could use potatoes, but potatoes are the better option. And like I said, once you have the knowledge is power. Then you're able to make better choices for yourself. I always say, once I teach myself and I learn, it's hard to grab something when I know this is doing nothing for my body. These are extra calories. And I also see these videos where people eat a crumble cookie and then they go run it off. And it takes 8 hours and 20 miles to work off 800 calories from a crumble cookie. And for me, my discipline comes from, I just won't eat it because I don't want to do all that extra work to lose it. I understand what it takes to lose the fat, and what it takes is consistency and awareness. Those are the 2 key factors I think you need to start changing the way you're treating your body or you're feeding your body. Because if you're not aware of how it works or what you're doing, you can't change it. You can't change what you don't track. I say that all the time. It's with everything. And everyone tracks, you have a bank account. If you have $1,000 in your bank account, you can't just go out and spend $1,500. You'll be overdrawn. So it's kind of like calories. Understand what your body needs, because everyone has the BMR, your body rate of how many calories you burn just from living. And the more muscles you have, the more you burn. That's another thing. Did you know you burn calories just from digesting your food? And when you eat protein, 20 to 30% of the calories from that protein gets used for digesting that protein. I think carbs is 10%, fat is 3%. So you are burning calories digesting food. You burn calories by breathing. You burn calories with everything you do. But if you're only burning 1,800 calories a day and you're eating 2,500 calories a day, that's 700 extra calories a day. That's more than a pound a week you're going to gain. And it's said that everybody underestimates the amount of calories they eat by 20 to 50%. I think it's probably closer to 50%, because when you go out to eat, these salads you get, that's over 1,000 calories just from that salad. And when you go out to eat, some people get a salad and an entree and on a dessert. And that's just more food than some people eat in their whole day in one meal. And that's another thing. I thought this was a great time for this episode because Thanksgiving's coming up. And like I said before, it's not one meal's not going to make you fat and one meal's not going to make you healthy. It's awareness and consistency that you need to create the lifestyle where you're making good choices for yourself just on a daily basis. Like that's your habit. So it's not something hard to do. It's just you got to decide that my health is important and make the decision that I'm going to educate myself and I'm going to be aware of what I'm putting on my plate and what I'm eating. So for Thanksgiving this year, be grateful that you have the food and eat if you want to. The average Thanksgiving meal is 3,000 to 4,500 calories. And a good tip for that is always start with eating protein first, then carbs and veggies. Then maybe you won't even have room for that pumpkin pie. But if you do have room for that pumpkin pie, just eat one slice. You know, what's funny is I don't really do Thanksgiving, but every Thanksgiving I normally go buy a pumpkin pie and Cool Whip. And within the 2 days, I'll eat the whole thing. But I'm not going to do that anymore because I'll actually be on my mini cut during Thanksgiving, which is a good thing. But I do eat that Bunt cake once every 2 weeks. And I eat it with no guilt. I don't feel bad about it after the fact because I know every other decision I'm making besides that is good. And I'm only putting in my body what it needs to fuel. And I'm tracking. And it's so easy to gain weight when you're eating too many calories. But if you don't even know how many calories you're eating, how do you know if that muffin is putting you over or not? And if I don't track my calories every day, I don't know a day I've skipped putting my calories in my fitness pal. But sometimes I don't do it the night before. And I'll be like, oh shit, I got to do it. And I'll do it halfway through the day. And I ate an extra rice cake, so I have to eliminate some rice off my next meal. So if I don't do it before I finish my day, I'm normally off. I don't even, with doing it for as long as I've done it, I still can't do it just off memory. I need to track it. And I also measure everything. Like I see people, I need to do a video on this because I see people weighing out their peanut butter and stuff, but they're not doing it the right way. They're digging it out of the peanut butter, putting it in a measuring cup, and then doing it. Like that's so many extra dishes you have to clean for measuring. What you do is you put the whole can of peanut butter on the scale and tear it. Then you just take the spoon and you dip it out and you see how many grams, 16 grams in a tablespoon. So you go ahead and scoop out 32 grams. Then all you have is the spoon. And when I have extra on that spoon, I don't lick it. I put it back in the jar because that extra 2 grams is extra fat that's not in my plan. So I just challenge everybody. You don't have to do it for Thanksgiving because that's the time everyone gets to eat. But remember, it's not that one meal that's going to fuck you up. It's you saying to yourself that, oh, I'll just eat the leftovers for the next week. It's not going to make a difference. It will make a difference. Eat that one meal for Thanksgiving, but don't let it go into a binge for the next week. It's so much harder to get yourself back on track. And one thing I do to keep myself on track is I just think of how hard I work every day for my goals. And I think, does this taste as good as it feels to hit my goals? And it doesn't. So I don't need it. When people say you should try this, it's like, that's not already in my life. I don't want to try something because that's something else I have to have willpower not to have anymore. So I'm very disciplined in the way that I don't put myself in situations where I'm going to make bad choices. And I still don't eat out at restaurants. I'm still very on point, and I've gained 25 pounds. And I've gained a lot of fat, but I've gained a lot of muscle too. And we're going to be able to see that. Maybe not in this mini cut because that's just maybe losing 6-7 pounds in 6 weeks just to kind of get some of the fat off to see if I'm building enough muscle. But in June or May, before I do my show, I'll be doing another cut. So we'll be able to see it. We'll reveal this layer of fat over me. And you'll all be able to see the work I've been doing, what the results are. And that's what I want people to see. That it's just about making a plan and sticking to it. It doesn't matter what you look like, what age you are, how out of shape you are. It's not magic. It's just a system. It's math. It's discipline. It's consistency. It's awareness. That's all it is. It's not hard. You don't have to sit here and talk yourself into it. Just start deciding, today I'm going to make good choices. And then do it the next day. Take it day by day. Because once you're aware and you start making the good choices, it's hard to disappoint yourself by making a bad choice. And I haven't done that in a while because I understand that consistency is key and discipline is key. And I love discipline. That's one thing that I took from the military is you do what you got to do for the mission, no matter how you fucking feel. Your body doesn't react to feelings. It reacts to math, to calories, to in, to out. And if that's the first step you need to take is just understanding calories in and out, do that. But after you do that, it does matter what those calories are made up of, the macros. And that's the next step. And I always wanted to explain this on like a beginner level because I know I'm trying to learn all this and it's so complicated. And there's so many levels to the education of it. I know when some people talk to me, I'm like, what fucking language are you talking? Like, I just needed someone to explain macros, protein, fat, carbs, why they're important, why you need a mixture of all of them, why you can't just live off 2,000 calories of carbs, why you can't just live off 2,000 calories of fats, why that's not going to have your body's hormones balanced, why you're going to be stressed out, tired, how you are what you eat, how you are every decision, how you are what you tell yourself, how your thoughts control your weight, how everything controls how your body works. It's amazing how complicated everything is. And it's amazing how unaware I was about all this. Like, I don't know if we learned this in school or if I was just asleep in that class, but there's so much knowledge that I'm teaching myself in my late 40s that I should have known in my 20s and I would have been a healthier person. That's another thing. It's never too late to change the way you're treating your body. Your body will respond. You can change the way you're aging. Just one day at a time, one choice at a time, one decision at a time. So I hope this helps anyone just give you a little bit knowledge on why you're gaining weight, why 74% of the world's overweight, and why 42% of those are obese, and how if you are that far off, like it's not going to be a quick fix. This is going to take a while, but the time will pass anyways. And I started this journey for myself 3 years ago, or almost 3 years ago. And I have so much more confidence, self-worth, strength, mental discipline, everything since I started working out. It's really the foundation of being strong and being able to handle anything that comes my way. So I challenge you to count your calories this week, not to judge yourself, but to see yourself and see where you are and what changes you need to make to be the healthiest person you can be. Until next time.